Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, currently ranking and reviewing every single Frank Zappa released after he passed away in December of 1993. I already did all the other ones elsewhere on this channel if you're interested, but we are currently on number 46, Finer Moments. And I kind of hate putting it this far back on the list. Kind of feels like it's a little too early, but it has one particular problem that is a problem with a lot of Frank albums, sometimes. Not a lot of Frank albums, but I'll get to that in a second. But anyways, this was released not until 2012, but was intended to be released by Frank in the early 70s. So this is an album he actually put together and was going to release, but for whatever reason, never did. And so you can still hear the fade outs. There's still like a fake needle scratch where he even says, "You just heard a fake needle scratch. That signifies the end of side one," or something to that effect. And so you can feel the double LP. You can feel the four sides, which I think helps the album a little bit. But what it is almost all instrumental other than Frank conducting people to go, right there, right there, right there, ooh, ooh, make noises. Other than that, there's no songs per se. Though this may be Frank's first sort of committed attempt to pull solos out of songs and then release them as separate tracks, as there's a sort of a Uncle Meet King Kong jam session in here. There's the Billy the Mountain solos in here. There's some Pound for a Pound Brown solos in here. So there's a lot of ridiculously good playing. Unfortunately, the problem with it is in between the ridiculously good playing, there's a lot of stuff that is just not compelling to hear again or already been released, which is why it's down here. But there is some stuff you definitely have to check out. It opens up with intro, which is talking, Frank talking. I think he's talking to the audience on this one. He is. I'm not going to spoil what he's saying. The second track is Sleazette, which is just a nasty Frank guitar solo. A great Frank guitar solo. Like this disc is kicking off well. I don't think it's from a song. I think it's from like an improv, like the beginning of a show improv, or Frank just starting stuff up. I don't think there's any boots in which been able to figure out where it's from. It just seems like we're just going to do this thing during this thing. It's a great, nasty 3.5-minute guitar solo. Then we abruptly cut into Ian Underwood playing Mozart on the piano. This is the ballet thing, some ballet music. This is the Mozart thing that's on You Can't Do That on Stage, Volume 5, in which people are dancing and the audience is laughing. It's stuff we can't see because music is not a visual medium, Frank. But it goes on for far too long. It's like 6.5 minutes long almost, and it breaks the awesome momentum of what was Sleazette already. And yes, Ian Underwood's playing is fantastic, but he's playing Mozart on the piano while something else happens that appears to be as or more entertaining. So it just kills it for me. Knowing that's the second thing up, I don't want to play this album. After that is Walking Zombie music, which is sort of Frank conducting improv, that kind of thing. Appears to be from a King Kong, maybe, but I'm not sure. Then The Old Curiosity Shop, which are the solos from Billy the Mountain. I wrote it down. It is an Underwood solo, fantastic Underwood sax solo, a wah-wah sax, I think, and then an FZ solo. Then that's where the fake record scratch comes in, and we pretend we end side one. Other than that Mozart thing, a pretty good start and a pretty good finish, but that middle sort of like, even the Frank conducting thing kind of doesn't say the Mozart thing. So there's like a middle 10 minutes that are really just, make me not want to listen to this all that much. But then you get side two. Side two on the album, which would be only 2 tracks. It is a longer version of Harmonica Fun off a mystery disc. Somebody jamming away on the harmonica, kind of a cute little intro thing. It's about way too long. How long is it? 2 minutes and 19 seconds, a little bit too long. But then we go into Uncle Rebus, which is phenomenal. This is just an epic. This is a 17-minute and 43-second Uncle Meat jam. with King Kong. So it starts off in King Kong, and then there's jamish parts, and then it ends up in Uncle Meat and goes back to jamish parts. Baked Bean Boogie from stage 5, a Frank guitar solo, is from this. Piano and drum duet on stage 5 is from this. So it was a very commonly bootlegged thing back in the day. Almost seemed like Frank was trying to beat the boots, and he knew that the Ark and others were out here documenting this incredible King Kong Uncle Meat hybrid, and so he wanted to get it out himself. But it's a phenomenal listen, and you should check it out for sure. It's great. Like, it's one of the best things that the ZFT has released. But still, this album is way down here because of that ballet music. Not that I'm against ballet, just where it is. So anyways, and then side 3 is something called Music from the Big Squeeze, which was a cough commercial. There's Enigmas 1 through 5, 8+ minutes of percussion and drum duet. Some of it sounds improv, some of it sounds sort of Moe's Vacation-y, but it's 8+ minutes, and I just don't find it very compelling. I love the drums, but I love the drums when they're like responding to another musician. As far as drum solos or percussion solos in and of themselves, this doesn't compel me very much, and it immediately puts like almost 8 minutes of dead air in the beginning of the second disc. But then is Pumped in Wax, which is some like electronic music, which also doesn't inspire me. It's more experimental than it is, interesting. Kind of a pre-synclavier poking around type thing. Then we get There Is No Heaven, Where Slogans Go to Die, which is a longer edit from You Call That Music from stage 4, which is Frank conducting the band to make weird noises. This is a longer version of that. I thought the 4-minute version or whatever it was on, maybe the 3-minute version on stage 5 was perfect. Then you get a shorter version of Right There, right there, with Roy Estrada from stage 5, and I actually like the longer version. This is about 2 minutes shorter than that. This is called Squeeze It, Squeeze It, Squeeze It. So then you got 2 things which have already been released, right? So again, I like the other versions better just because I'm more familiar with them. So everything on the second disc, I kind of don't need or don't want to listen to. However, it then closes. Side 4 is The Subcutaneous Peril, which is a Pink Pound for Brown edited into a King Kong solo fest. 20 minutes of solos. Yes, these solos are all available on Carnegie Hall. That's the show they're from. But you have to listen to the other stuff on Carnegie Hall. This is just the solos. I think there's a Don Preston, really weird, nasty Don Preston solo. There's a Frank Zappa solo to start it off. Then there's a Preston solo. There's a drum solo. And there's a guitar solo. There's a sax solo on Carnegie Hall, but it was cut for this release for some reason. Maybe because Ian is represented elsewhere on the album. But yeah, so it's 2 Frank solos, a Don Preston solo, a drum solo because Frank's got to give his drummer some, and then another pretty long guitar solo. It's great. It's phenomenal. It is almost half the length of this. It is half this side, the second disc, but it is the only thing worthwhile on the second disc. But it is great, and it is worth checking out. So I'm really torn on this album. I think there's phenomenal stuff on it, but almost half of each disc I don't want to listen to. And so I do a playlist in which I've just pulled the other stuff out, and so I don't ever revisit this album. But I got to give it props for releasing the stuff it did, even though some of it's been previously released. So that's it. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's worth checking out. You may like the ballet part more than me, and you may like the drum stuff better than me, because the stuff that is not that is fantastic, and I do recommend checking that stuff out. But anyways, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, because then the algorithms shoot this to more people, and maybe people will check out Frank. And that is the entire purpose of this, is to spread the love of the music. So thank you. Take care. And if you're in the United States, it's winter where you are, so stay warm, people. Talk to you later. Bye.